Jason Mellings. Look, we live this farm's between Warrantnabeal and Donald, about halfway in between. District's called Carron. Farm's located Carron, Bullite, Auriga area. And look, we're selling anywhere between, well, it depends on the year, between 2,000 and 3,000 hectares, depends how we're feeling at the time. Picked up this horse bar just on Anzac Day, and we're now finished, 3 weeks down the track. My background, I was a mechanic, diesel mechanic, worked at a dealership for probably nearly 10 years on and off, and this is kind of my background as machinery. And yeah, look, this is probably ASC the number 4 or 5, and look, I'm pretty impressed with it actually. We picked it up, like I said before, a couple of days before Anzac Day, and we just put it in the paddock and it just worked. To give O'Connors a bit of credit, they helped Muddy River run the school with yarn. That was a great day, half a day of tuition, well worth it. Lethe came out and gave us a bit of a run over how to calibrate it again, and that was that really. Put it in the paddock and it just worked. I remember a bloke in Warrantnabeal said to me, "How'd you go? Did you get a few teething issues?" And I said, "Well, no." And I mean, that's what you pay for, and that's what we got. Just put it in the paddock and put it in the ground and into it, so that's what we like to see.
And what made you choose this bar over other bars?
Well, I've been following bars for quite a while, the last 4 or 5 years, and the fact it was available was one thing, but look, I've had a fair history with Horsch. I've been over there and had a look at the factory and met Michael Horsch, and of course Peter Jack, who brings them in, and yourself of course too, Lamo, and the company's got a good feel to it, and there's plenty of them around and everyone's got them, happy with them, and I think that's as good a recommendation as you're going to get. You just talk to the guys that have got them, and 9 times out of 10, if they're no good, you're going to know about it, and you just look over the fence and they just seem to do a pretty good job. And this model in particular, because they have changed it since the last one, I was impressed with it, and so we went for it, yeah. Look, it is, look, to be honest, the last bar we had, it wasn't really that old, to be honest. The main reason we swapped it over was because we wanted a wider bar. We went from 40 foot to 60 foot, and a couple of guys have been working with me for the last 2 years. The first thing they said to me once we jumped on this thing was, they said, "Boy, it's quiet." And I thought, yeah, it is really quiet. There's no, I mean, serviceability, there doesn't appear to be too many things on it that are going to wear out on us. Like, I can't see we're going to have much of a maintenance bill with it at all, from what I can understand. Look, you know, we've put it back in the shed, and we're about to go to the shed, and there just doesn't appear to be any wear on it whatsoever. Maybe we're not doing enough country with it, I don't know. Like, there's hardly any paint missing off the coulter wheels. It just seems like it's almost, I wouldn't say bulletproof, might be a fairly strong term, but it does seem a fairly robust, maintenance-free machine.
And how do you find calibration and accuracy with the air cut?
Look, really good. That system, you calibrate it 3 times. So you do your first cal, then your second. By the time you get to the third, when you punch your weight in, it's pretty much spot on. And look, over the whole cropping, yeah, it's been spot on, it really has. No, I'm really impressed with the calibration. That's always been a bit of a worry. We've got a weighbridge here, so we always double check things, and it's right on the money. And it actually is quite easy to, apart from getting a bit fit, jumping in and out of the cab, just puts in the weights into the cab, into the screen, which is not a bad thing at the moment. But yeah, no, it's actually really quite easy to cal. I remember when I first got the screen, I actually said to one of the guys in town, I said, "I'm not really impressed with this screen." That was the first day. By the end of the week, I actually said to the same bloke, "I might just take that back, because I'm actually really happy with the screen. Like, it's not huge, but now that I'm used to it and know how it works, it's actually really good." So.
And how did you have found the cutting coulters on the Sprinter itself? Work really well for you in your system?
They do, they work really well. I noticed they do limit the saw throw, so I mean, we're putting out some pretty heavy chemicals out and pre-emergent in front of the seeder, and saw throw is a bit of a concern, and it does limit how much saw throw you get, so we can actually go a bit faster. They do work really well. The only thing I will say is when it gets wet, yeah, we just lift them up out of the way. Having said that, because we're on different tine spacings with tine positions, sometimes we might have a tine that runs right in the middle of a previous stubble row, and if it's wet, the cultivars didn't really like that, but normal conditions, yeah, great.
Yep.
That was back in 2018, and look, to be honest, when I went over, at the time I had a few other things on the Christmas list, and I didn't really have any intention of buying one at the time, and I was still looking at other bars and things like that. But as time's moved on and I've got a bit more serious about it, done the research, this was the bar I wanted. And I mean, look, going over there and having a look at the factory and meeting the guys over there, that certainly did help the decision in that regard as well. One thing that I do like about it is it's simple, and I mean, really I've only gone for single shoot, and that's one of the reasons I've gone that way, is it's just simple. So I can put anyone up in the cab, and if they're a half reasonable operator, you don't have to tell them too much, show them what to look for on the screen, and there's really not much to worry about out the back, and away they go. So the simplicity is a really redeeming feature of the machine, because as you know, employees are really hard to get in this game nowadays. So if you can drag someone off the street, so to speak, and put them in the cab, they're normally pretty right. Just the other thing I do like about it as well is, like, those blockage monitors are unreal, and also the fact when the seed gets low, it'll tell you. So everything that happens with the machine sets off a trigger point up in the cab and lets you know, and that just makes my job as a farm manager, knowing the machine's looking after itself, so to speak. That's a pretty important thing. Look, just compared to other machines, one thing that is noteworthy that I do like about it is these distributors and all this mechanism here it's easy to get to. Like, it's pretty much open span. It's quite accessible. And look, the clean out's good. You don't have to worry about, it's not a big drama to clean it out. It's quite quick, actually, empty out really well. And just the whole, putting your distributors in, that's easy. Pretty easy to work out. I mean, really, the black one will do lentils, wheat, barley, MAP, urea, so it does most of it. It's really only canola and beans you've got to swap a couple around, so which is not a big drama. And like I said, the calibration's pretty easy, it's accurate, so yeah, it's pretty much. And the fact 21,000 litre, it's big. I mean, we're probably averaging 100 hectares to a fill, which is a massive time saving in a day. 2 fills is a big day, so I do like that. The lids are good, they're nice and big and easy to shut and seal up well. And yeah, it's all pretty simple, which is good.